Lock in
Stay sharp.
and get ready for the grind. This is AIM Drifts, where every shot counts. Alright. Welcome, survivors, to AIM Drifts, the ultimate ARK experience. Whether you're taming T-Rexes, building fortresses, or braving the depths of the aberration, we've got you covered. From in-depth survival strategies to the latest updates and wild community stories, this is your go-to destination for everything ARK. So grab your tribe, sharpen your spears, and let's dive into the prehistoric adventure.
So, for starters, what is ARK? Well, it's a survival game. It was first early access in June of 2015 on Steam. Later came out on PlayStation on December 6th of 2015, and then December 15th for Xbox, or December 16th for Xbox of 2015. Now, the main theme of this game, it's a survival game with dinosaurs, craft your tools, build bases in a prehistoric sci-fi hybrid world that can get a little crazy. From T-Rexes chasing you, being jumped on by raptors, there's never a dull moment unless you're scared to adventure.
Some of the core elements of this game are players must manage hunger, thirst, temperature, stamina, and avoid dangerous creatures.
Like the T-Rex, the raptor, the Spinosaurus,
the Giga.
The Giga. Good God. Dilophosaurus, for those that don't know what Dilophosaurus is, if you ever watched
Jurassic Park?
Yeah, Jurassic Park. That's the little spitty dinosaur that goes like this.
Taming systems. Players can tame over 150 plus creatures, including dinosaurs, fantasy creatures like wyverns and rock drakes, and sci-fi hybrids like tech dinos. Some creatures are passive tames like the Lithosaurus, while others require knockout tame with narco and food, or narcotics. We call it narco for short.
Some of the hardest dinosaurs to tame being the Titanosaur, where the only way to knock it out is by shooting cannonballs off of a flying mount and hitting the thing directly in the head. And what's the purpose of taming that dinosaur, you think? Well, in the PvP aspects, it is a raid dino. It is great for stomping on your enemy bases and flattening out your opponents. If you're a PvE player like me, the only real reason to do it is to get the achievement for taming all the dinosaurs.
Breeding and mutation mechanics. Players can breed creatures, imprint on babies, and genetically mutate stats like health, stamina, and damage. Super breeding is a meta strategy for high-end PvP and PvE players.
It can be fun to breed these different dinos. Come out with odd colors, different patterns. But the ultimate goal is to either A, take out your enemy base with a dino that they can't take out, or go into the boss fights, which we'll cover in a later part of the episode. Base building and customization. Structures range from simple thatch huts to massive metal fortresses, which the Titanosaur can destroy. You got defensive aspects like automated turrets, spike walls, plants that spit bullets, like the plant species X and Y. They're a living turret. Bear traps and other things like oil jars that can catch fire. Your possibilities are endless when it comes to building a base. If you can imagine it, you can build it in some way or another. Now, your progression, well, that's unlocked by engrams with almost like a tree-like system. The player must start with primitive tools like spears and bows, and eventually you'll unlock high-tech gear like the jetpacks, plasma rifles, a force field, riot gear, assault rifles, sniper rifles, shotguns.
Now, as for the boss fights in the endgame, players can summon and battle bosses like the Broodmother, the Dragon, the Rockwell, and the King Titan to unlock tech tier items.
That's when you start flying around, looking like Superman. Now, let's take a moment. Okay? You've got these boss fights, and what do you gain from it? Well, there actually is a bit of a storyline if you go through and you collect all the little nodes, like the Explorer notes, and you'll uncover a hidden mystery as to why you arrive naked and stranded on a random island to start. Once you go from there, you go to the desert, which is a DLC originally called Scorched Earth. That was for ARK Survival Evolved. After that, you would go into Aberration, Extinction, and Genesis. All of these are different maps, and we'll touch more on those here in a minute. But the purpose of surviving and working through to beat these bosses is to actually unlock that storyline. And as someone who's been playing since this game was in beta, early access, to still playing today, playing ARK Survival Ascended, which is the remastered version of ARK Survival Evolved that come out just a few years ago in 2023, a lot has changed. We're getting a lot of these, previous expansion packs that were for Survival Evolved now for free as part of ARK Ascended. Now, where I am a big fan of the game, and I'm going to speak truly from the heart, my views do not reflect my brother and my co-host here. ARK can be a great game, and it can be a horrible game, depending on your experience. If you can have fun surviving, if you can get through the hard grind of gathering resources, trying to stay alive while being chased down by raptors or Dilophosauruses, or dealing with some of the more annoying dinosaurs that like to randomly just run up and steal stuff from you, like the Pagomastus. And I may be pronouncing that wrong. Forgive me. I have a love-hate relationship for that game, and that's why I still play it today. It can be a good game. It can be a crap game if you're not into it.
Some days you can get a whole lot done, and other days you can spend all day trying to breed dinos. It just depends on what you want to do. There's more time-consuming elements to the game, and there are some things that you can burn right through. It's just how you want to play it and what you enjoy about the game. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. Every style that you can think of in a survival game is in this game. There's something for everyone. I'm almost positive of it.
If you like first-person shooters, you can get into a PvP server, and you can be that, you can run around, first-person trying to, off other players. If you're a third-person shooter kind of person, I love third-person shooters. I also love first-person shooters. I like to switch back and forth between third-person view and first-person view depending on what I'm doing in the game. Now, am I a PvP person? No. That's my brother.
I enjoy a good crying. I like spanking some booty.
And where I can enjoy that as well, I also like coexisting with other players and moving through a storyline that is somewhat complicated. And to say that ARK's storyline is complicated is an understatement. You drop in without any cue of what to do, and it's just start surviving. You don't start unraveling the mystery until you're several days into survival, and you come across a random explorer node, and you get a little pop-up that tells you a little bit about something. It might be a little bit about a dinosaur, or it might be about the infamous Rockwell. Now, to get into the expansions, some of the most popular expansions and DLCs, with their unique features alone, Scorched Earth, which come out for Survival Evolved in 2016, is a harsh desert biome with extreme weather, limited water, and creatures like the wyverns, which are dragons without the front legs, for those that don't know, and deathworms. And to put it mildly, those things are like the little creatures from Tremors. They pop up out of the sand and they will try to eat you. Scorched Earth is probably one of my least favorite maps, but it is a necessary part of the storyline to play through. Then you've got Aberration that come out in 2017, which is an underground radiation-filled map with flying creatures, which introduces the rock drakes and their cloaking ability, and the Reapers, which are like the xenomorphs. If you've ever seen Alien or Alien vs. Predator, you know what a xenomorph is. The Reapers are just like them. They don't look like them, but they are like them. They are fast, they come up out of nowhere, and they hurt. Then you have the Extinction map, which come out in 2018, which is a ruined futuristic Earth featuring Titans, which are giant world bosses, and then orbital supply drops for the PvE Horde-style fights. The boss Titans are some of the ones we've mentioned earlier, the King Titan. It is an open-world boss that will spawn, and anyone can help take it down. Then you got the Genesis program. which was actually a 2-part DLC that come out in 2020 and 2021. There is a sci-fi themed expansion which requires space travel, different types of missions, and a new feature called Helena, or HLNA, which is an AI companion.
Some of the communities and in the ARK series are competitive PvP, a large-scale tribe wars with tribes fighting for control over the server. Strategies include dino raiding using gigas, rock golems, and titanosauruses to break enemy bases, and offline raiding protection ORP servers. Roleplay and PvE servers. Custom roleplay servers introduce story-driven interactions, dino auctions, and in-game economies. Popular mods and features are the Primal Fear adds insanely powerful creatures like celestial,
demonic
chaos dinos with elemental abilities. Anaku Genesis reworks progression with stronger creatures, bosses, and powerful taming methods. Dino Overhaul X increases difficulty, introducing Alpha, Apex, and Omega tier creatures. Structure Plus, essential for improving base building, dynamic gates, and automatic farming systems. Imbenuous Astrum, a massive custom map featuring unique biomes and hidden secrets. Gaia mod overhauls crafting and introduces new creatures, tiers, magic, and extra base building features.
Another mod that is, can't even really call it a mod, I guess, is Club ARK. Club ARK allows you to do different missions, and Club ARK is exclusive to ARK Ascended. Club ARK allows you to do in-game missions and, little competitions with your friends to earn hexagons, to earn stuff so you can buy stuff from the in-game shop. It acts as an in-game currency, so you can unlock certain cosmetics for your dinos or for your armor. One of the DLCs that we forgot to mention earlier, however, is Bob's Tall Tales. That is exclusive as well to ARK Ascended. And most recently, they added a new map called Astraeos, which I have not played yet. I look forward to trying it in the very near future. Appears to be a Greek mythology-driven map. Now, there are different mods on ARK Ascended to customize your server should you want to have your own. And we currently have our own server. It's just a private thing for me, my wonderful co-host here, and a few friends of ours. And we have it heavily modded as well. It can be fun that way. Gives you a different twist. It allows you to perform new mechanics, different types of buildings. Bob's Tall Tales is probably the best mod DLC that you can have, in my opinion, for ARK Survival Ascended. Now, some fun facts about the franchise. Some of the largest dinos in ARK, like I said earlier, is the Titanosaur, that it cannot be tamed permanently. The fastest creature in the game is the Magnamar from Extinction, and can dash across the entire maps in seconds. The most annoying creature is the Microraptor, which will stun you in mid-air, leading to hilarious and sometimes frustrating deaths. There's nothing more irritating than moving along on your tame with little cares. You're always on the lookout, but you never see the Microraptor coming, and all of a sudden, boom, you're off your tame. You're stunned. Your vision's blurry, and your tame is now fighting. If you have it set to fight, getting its butt kicked or possibly killing the Microraptor and allowing you to escape. The longest official tame is actually the Titanosaur as well. It's difficult due to the starvation mechanic. Like I said, you have to knock this thing out with cannonballs as well. It's a pain in the butt. Now, some ARK servers have seen large-scale wars lasting for weeks, with thousands of turrets and explosives and dino battles.
And that would be the record for the biggest PvP raid ever.
What we know so far on ARK
2.
On ARK 2, its original planned release was 2023. It was then again pushed back to 2024, and it's now been put on hold, and we don't know when it's going to come out. It's still supposed to have the Unreal Engine 5 in it, with the hyper-realistic visuals and better AI, a Souls-like combat system, a more melee-focused gameplay, and gameplay, dialogue, and dodging for precise attacks. A story-driven experience, which, if everything is still the way it was, should be starring one of our greatest actors of all times, Vin Diesel, as the voice of Santiago, a warrior leading his tribe.
No first-person mode, entirely third-person, unlike ARK Survival Evolved. The new AI system, dinosaurs and enemies will have improved pack behavior and strategic thinking. Modding support, full cross-platform modding, allowing console players to access PC-created mods. That's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, we're already seeing some cross-platform mods with ARK Survival Ascended, but to access the PC mods as well.
The awesome thing that'll do for us, though, is when it's cross-platform, it will be less buggy and less laggy when you already have it cross-platform.
Yeah. These mods, along with new dinos, reworking existing ones, or introducing entirely new progression systems. You've got the Primal Fear, one of the most famous overhaul mods, adding insane dino tiers like the Celestial, the Demonic, Chaos, Spirit, and Omega creatures, along with new bosses and the taming mechanics. The Anuka Genesis, which rebalances ARK with stronger alphas, boss tier creatures, and again, more reworked taming to make the game more challenging. You've got the ARK Omega, which introduces over 1,000 plus new creatures with unique abilities tiered towards evolution and powerful RPG-like stats. The Extinction Core adds tribal enemies, reworked dino stats, and boss summoning from an MMO-like challenge. Paleo ARK Legends Expansion, a lore-friendly dino overhaul, improving existing creatures with new skins, animations, and abilities.
Base building and structure mods. If you want better looking and more functional bases, these mods are essential. Structure Plus, the most essential building mod, adding stackable foundation, adjustable walls, and auto farming tools, and wireless generators. Castles, Keeps, and Forts. Remastered introduces medieval style building pieces for castles, bridges, and forts. Additional creatures. Grand Hut adds defensive structures and new creatures for a more immersive PvE experience. Echo's Decor mods includes Echo's Garden, Echo's RP Decor, Echo's Tech Decor, and adding furniture, decorations, and environmental design options.
Now, some new maps and expansion mods that are, coming your way, if not already here. And if you want a fresh exploration experience, if these mods are adding huge custom maps and unique biomes, me personally, I love exploring new maps because I've been on all of the other ones. It gets a little dull from time to time, especially when you know where to look for certain things. It becomes second nature to me. So with, a new map called, and forgive me, mod creators, if I pronounce your mods wrong, or however, Ibenuus Astraeum, a massive high-detail custom map with unique creatures, hidden ruins, and deep underwater zones. You got Ragnarok Plus, that should be coming here in the very near future, which expands the Ragnarok map from ARK Survival Evolved, which is already a fantasy map in its own, and was a free DLC when it came out. Ragnarok Plus will expand Ragnarok with ultra biomes, new islands, and additional challenges. Olympus, a balanced, lore-friendly map with defensive fortresses, volcanoes, and secret caves. And one that sounds relatively peaceful, the Hope map, a beautifully designed custom map with floating islands, underground biomes, and a giant waterfall.
Didn't we have one of those in Evolved?
Yes, we still have it even on Ascended. It's called the Center map.
The Center. Okay, so it was called the Center on Evolve too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That
And
was that was my personal favorite map.
that was the last map I played on Evolved up until Ragnarok came out. When Ragnarok came out, I moved over to that map because that offered all sorts of things and included a new dino called the Ice Wyvern.
I remember that.
It had a little bit of everything. Now, the island, where it doesn't have wyverns native to the map, it was easy to get them on Evolve, be it dino auctions when, you did have them. Or if you had a decent community on the server, it was easy to request one in a bartering like system where, it might cost you a couple thousand ingots. But for the most part, the island was probably one of my favorite maps. Or not island, the center was probably one of my favorite maps. Which it featured a massive waterfall in the very center of the map with a floating island. And it was surrounded by swamps leading to a more forest-like biome, which then touched the beach lines and then the open ocean with surrounding islands. And then off to one side was the massive redwood forest. And at the very far north was, the ice biome, which was actually relatively small compared to the map. At least in my opinion. Now, to get into some of the quality of life mods, one of our personal favorites is the automated ARK, or AA for short. It adds auto crafting, auto farming, and environment, some inventory management to reduce the grind and reduce, loss of materials. Go ahead, brother.
Dino storage replaces cryopods with more efficient, stackable dino storage systems. Soul traps.
The upgrade station, another one of our favorites, which allows players to upgrade the weapons and armors and tools without needing to find the higher level blueprints. Let's face it, when you're trying to just win the lottery on them, it's easier to just craft it. Get the upgrade station, grab a blueprint, take it there, and just build it up. Versus spending hours upon hours flying around, hopping from node to node, hoping to find the one blueprint you're searching for to build that ultimate arsenal. You got the auto engrams, which automatically unlocks the engrams as you level up, removing the need to manually spend points, which can be fun. It takes some monotonous side of it. But if you have, a tribe and you have multiple people playing, there's really not a need for that because everybody can select something and no one person has to have all of it unlocked. Then you got your stackable item mods, which increases item stacks, limits, reducing inventory clutter, and we've been using that one a lot lately too, taking our menial, stack of 100 to a stack of 1,000 or 10,000 to greatly increase our ability to move the products around and save space. I remember on Survival Evolved, you'd have a small little area where you would craft stuff, but you'd have to have this huge area to store everything because you could only stack 100 of each item in one spot if it would stack. And then you could only put maybe 60 stacks in a vault or 100 stacks in a vault, depending on what you made. And you would need 100 to 200 vaults if you were a well-established tribe.
Role-playing and fantasy mods. For those who love role-play servers and fantasy-themed gameplay, these mods are unique elements. ARK Eternal adds fantasy creatures, magic-themed mechanics, and extended in-game progression. RP Immersion Structures adds interactive objects, furniture, and structures for role-playing servers. I would like to check that out. Dragons and Enhanced Creatures introduces rideable dragons, wyverns, and magical beasts. ARK Pirates mod turns ARK into a pirate adventure featuring sailable ships, cannons, and treasure hunting.
And you got some of the sci-fi futuristic mods. These mods bring high-tech enhancements to ARK, pushing it beyond the prehistoric survival, which you already had some of that with the, introduction of the tech gear. But these things bring more. One of them is a tech expansion mod, which adds new tech weapons and armor and futuristic bases. A cybernetics mod introducing robotic creatures, including cyber-enhanced dinos. And I don't want to get in trouble with Lucasfilms or Disney for this one, but yes, there is a Star Wars mod. It's an ARK edition featuring lightsabers, blasters, and Star Wars-inspired dino skins. There's also a Stargate mod, adding a working Stargate system for fast travel between locations.
Quick disclaimer, we are not the creators of the Star Wars mod. Star Wars mod, we do not have any affiliation with them, and we are just announcing what we have found on the internet, so please do not come for us about the Star Wars mod. Thank you. PvP and combat mods. For competitive players, these mods enhance tribe wars and PvP mechanics. ARK Nuke mod allows players to craft powerful explosives and nukes to destroy enemy bases. Sounds like a fun plan.
We might have to check that one out.
Modern Firearms mod adds real-world guns like assault rifles, snipers, and explosives. I'm down for that one too.
Which, ARK already had some of that, but we could definitely look into this mod, see what else they have to offer.
Tribe Wars Overhaul improves PvP mechanics, raid balance, and tribe diplomacy. Gladiator Arena mod introduces PvP arenas, tournaments, and battle mods. That's pretty cool.
That one might be fun for just,
taking dinos too?
Taking dinos or an us mod. That could be fun. I don't know if I would enjoy that dealing with other players outside of the ones that we know, but who's to say? Can't knock it if you don't try it, right?
Well, and hopefully if it's designed properly, the only way it works is if you agree to go into the Gladiator Arena.
Yeah. Some of the most downloaded mods, of all time, all-time Steam favorites is, no surprise, the Structure Plus, which, again, is an essential for base building, which, if I'm right, Structure Plus is specifically for ARK Survival Evolved, because the Structure Plus mechanics have been implemented with Survival Ascended, allowing for some of the different ways that we place pillars now, and the availability to make a small pillar, or a skinny pillar. You got the Dino Storage, which is just a replacement for the cryopods. The Primal Fear, no surprise there. Upgrade Station, which isn't a surprise to me whatsoever. I love the Upgrade Station. We have it on our server. I find it essential. The Anuki one, which does a Dino Overhaul, that's one we haven't tried. I'd be willing to give it a shot.
These mods transform ARK into a completely different experience, whether you're looking for hardcore survival, fantasy RPG, futuristic combat, or deep role-playing mechanics. Do you want a curated list for specific playstyle? PvP, PvE, roleplay, etc. Or should I format this? Yeah, that's going to get clipped. My bad. Lock in.
Stay sharp.
And get ready for the grind. This is Aim Drifts, where every shot counts. Let's try that again. Lock in.
Stay sharp.
And get ready for the grind. This is Aim Drifts, where every shot counts. Let's try that again.